And welcome back, folks. So we're back to another Lantern Corps video today. Someone asked if I was doing one of their suggestions. Right now, the Lantern Corps videos will be focused on the cast of Naruto. Don't worry, it's not going to be like one episode of the Lantern Corps video for each character. Some of them will be compiled together for just because some of them are lesser characters, and therefore it doesn't make sense to do an individual video on them. Mostly because the reason I did the Naruto one, A, because I wanted to do a Lantern Corps video, because I think that's a cool video to do, and B, it's groundwork for later who would win. And technically speaking, any what if or any Lantern Corps video I do could be groundwork for later who would win. That's just groundwork for later who would win down the road. But anyway, it's only fair though that when we did Naruto on Saturday, and by the way, there's no set day for when I do these during the week, but I'm gonna try to keep it just one a week for right now. Try not to overdo it. We just started with Naruto. We gotta go Sasuke next. So obviously we know who Sasuke Uchiha is. The question is, what Lantern Corps does he, fall into? Obviously, for those quick, summary for those of you who don't know, the Lantern Corps are basically, well, the Green Lanterns are intergalactic police, more or less. They're beat cops. They are corps, as they're known. I always call them corps, but they're corps. They're groups of individuals, basically not galactic groups. I don't know how they're groups of individuals that have harnessed the emotional spectrum of the galaxy. There are 7 different emotional spectrums, and there's also death and life as well. And they harness these powers through rings. And you have to have a strong connection to the emotion, and they allow you certain abilities, certain powers. So the powers are obviously go from will, fear, rage, love, greed, or avarice, as it is, compassion, hope, and then there's the death and the life lanterns as well. And one thing I've always noted, by the way, willpower is not an emotion. That's just a trait to your personality. That's not an emotion. I don't know if hope technically qualifies as an emotion either, or avarice does. Fear, that's an emotion. Happiness, that's an emotion. Sadness, that's an emotion. Love is an emotion. Rage is an emotion as well. Those are like 5 core emotions. I don't think an argument can be made for hope. No, I don't even think hope, because that's technically faith. Yeah, I don't think those technically qualify as emotions, but whatever, I digress. So basically, we're on Sasuke now. Now, again, there's 2 ways to look at Sasuke. There is Sasuke as he is through the beginning stages of Naruto, and basically through most of Shippuden, though he does become a bit more of a dick during Shippuden, so you can make an argument that is a different part of his life. And adult Sasuke after the original series, where he's finally come to terms with things. If we're going with just adult Sasuke, I'll tell you right now, he either qualifies as a Green Lantern due to his willpower, very high willpower, or he could qualify as a Violet Lantern, a Star Sapphire, due to the fact that he has a family that he loves. Despite the fact he's a bit aloof about it, he does love his family. I would probably go Green Lantern for adult Sasuke. So now that we got that out of the way, the one we're really focusing on is basically Sasuke during his younger years and Sasuke during Shippuden era. So, as always, I go from, as what I like to call the Nope Lanterns, the corpse that they cannot qualify as, the possible lanterns, the lanterns that they may very well qualify as, and then the most qualified, the ones that they're most likely going to be a part of. So if we're just going with the lanterns they don't qualify as, starting right from the gate, White Lantern. Yes, Sasuke is alive, so he could qualify, but that's about it. If anything, Sasuke's complete another focused mission to actually kill Itachi, to end his life, to end life, would end. Well, White Ring consents to that kind of stuff because it's pretty much godlike. It's very counterintuitive to the White Ring's purpose. The White Ring's purpose is to protect life, embrace life, cultivate life. The more you are experiencing life, the more that you try to keep life around, to keep it together, to cultivate it, to grow it, is what powers the ring, is what makes you more likely to be qualified to be a White Lantern, to understand the value of life. Sasuke does understand it, but at the same time, he's so hell-bent on his mission to kill Itachi there, I don't think there's any way he could be a White Lantern. particularly in the second part, particularly in Shippuden, because that's all he cares. And he'll kill without remorse, too, in Shippuden. So there's no way he could be a White Lantern. Black Lantern, there's also no way he could be that. He's never actually died. Now, you make, again, same with Naruto, you may make the argument that, well, he died in near the final battle before he got brought back. He was never actually dead. He was basically like on death's door, but he was never dead. They were able to keep him stable enough that he was able to. He was fading. Don't get me wrong, he was fading, but he was alive. So you can't use a Black Lantern there because the qualifications to be a Black Lantern are you either have to be dead, have died before, even if you've been brought back, you've died before, or you have to. There's a third kind of offset circumstance you can qualify if you completely embrace death without any qualms, without any purpose, without any whims. A good example would be the Joker. He kills and he loves to kill and he just doesn't give a shit. He could, in theory, be a Black Lantern. In theory, there's better Lantern Corps, honestly. The Violet Lanterns, or the Lanterns of Love. Sasuke loved his brother. He loved his. Here's the thing. This is a nope for a different reason than you might think. Because Sasuke is not incapable of feeling loved. He loved his brother to death, but then he betrayed him. So afterwards, he filled himself with hate. But during the war arc where Itachi got resurrected and they fought Kabuto, it was clear that Sasuke did still love his brother. So it's not impossible for him to be a Violet Lantern in that sense. Now, why is it in the nope? Because so much else of Sasuke's emotions override what little love at that time he could feel that it just doesn't make sense that he could qualify for a Violet Lantern. He just could not be a Star Sapphire. It's again, not that he's incapable of love and that he didn't even feel love. At certain points, it was probably always there, but it was buried deep. But the problem is that everything else that was going on with Sasuke completely overwhelmed his ability to love and feel love. So I can't qualify him as a Violet Lantern either. And the last one he just doesn't qualify for is the Indigo one. Now this is odd because young Sasuke specifically, because young Sasuke was still malleable and still felt guilt about certain things and he could still feel bad about stuff. The Shippuden Sasuke, you can make the argument he just didn't feel bad about what he was doing, but the problem is that it's hard to tell exactly what was going on with him emotionally because he was always so stoic most of the time. The only time he really lost it was when he was against Itachi, and then later on, as the series progressed, he started to kind of lose it a bit more. You could make an like, does he feel remorse for his actions? That's the big thing. Because if he doesn't feel any remorse for any actions he's taken, then you could make a firm argument he could be a Indigo Lantern. Because you either need to be extremely compassionate or feel no compassion. And then it kind of evens you out that you feel remorse or regret. It does circumvent your will, though, so yeah, I'm not certain Sasuke can qualify because he has other things that drive him well beyond his what compassion he might have or lack of compassion he might have. I don't think he fully lost compassion. That's the thing. I don't think he was completely remorseless. I think when it came to certain things, he did feel bad. There are a couple instances though, like when he killed, like just skewered Karin, and he just didn't feel bad about it. At those intervals in his life, he could have qualified for an Indigo ring, but there's so few moments I think that could actually happen for that. Again, that's the moment right there where his character was clearly gone at that point for a little while. But once we got back to, basically to when him and Naruto and the group were facing off against Obito and Madara, I think there was a little bit of compassion left there. So there was enough that I don't think he could qualify. And even if he could qualify, let's put this out right there right now. And in fact, now that I say this out loud, this probably goes more into the unlikely category than the nope category. But sorry, excuse me, my dog is having a grand old time licking herself. You're licking yourself. You're making noises. But they can hear you on the camera. You're so messy. You're such a slob. But if you could, you would too. So let's be honest. If we could, we would. But the only other problem that comes with the whole idea of the Indigo Ring of Compassion is that so much more of his emotions are overriding that aspect of him. I doubt he would actually try to. If an Indigo Ring tried to come to him and put itself on his finger, because it circumvents your will, Sasuke could probably pick up on that. He would reject the ring. I think Sasuke would completely reject an Indigo Ring. Because Sasuke, you've been shown to have a great lack of compassion. It's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And he maybe tries to take out the ring, but the ring doesn't work. The ring tries to go on his finger, and he resists it. So, whatever. So yeah, we'll actually move that over. Now that I said it out loud, I think it's more likely that he could, in theory, in intervals in his life, be an Indigo Lantern, but I don't see it happening. Then we go into the unlikelies, like the legitimate unlikelies that I already had listed up. And one is green. Now, you might be saying, well, Sasuke's willpower is immense. Like, why wouldn't he be just a proper candidate for green? And Sasuke does have a lot of willpower. Again, particularly in Shippuden, it's shown how strong his willpower really is. But is that what drives him? And does he have other things that... one of the conditions of being a Green Lantern, first off, is the fact that you're not allowed to kill. That's a circumstance the Guardians put into the Green Lantern Corps a long time ago, is that you cannot kill. And unless it's like under the most extreme circumstances. And Sasuke would just... Now, we've seen that be overridden by Bruce Wayne in the alternate universe where he got the Green Lantern ring. But I doubt Sasuke really has that much willpower. Sasuke's got willpower, sure. But the problem with it is Sasuke's will has also faltered many, many a time. When the curse mark came into fray, he had a lot of willpower to power through that, so that maybe is evidence that he's a great candidate for it. But it also altered his perception on things. When Zabza first showed up, he was scared out of his mind. Fear is the enemy of will. If he had a Green Lantern ring at that point, he'd be scared shitless and lose the ring. When he fought Naruto for the first time, when they had that sport after he got out of the hospital, his whole confidence in himself was shaken because of what he saw Naruto do. So, I bet similar to that is that his confidence in himself was shaken when he saw Naruto summon Bunta and have Itachi, wanting him and all that. Sasuke's confidence is actually pretty easy to waver in the right circumstances. Ooh, excuse me. He's not an unbreakable wall. Like, he just doesn't persevere in the same way Naruto does. In fact, it even shocks him just how far Naruto goes for him. He just tells him to give up on me. What the hell is your problem? And that's not the kind of attitude or personality a Green Lantern would have. Not to say he couldn't qualify for it. Here's the thing, too. I think he could get a Green Lantern ring. I don't think he could keep a Green Lantern ring. There's too many other emotions clouding him for his will to be the defining trait of him. Likewise, Orange is one that I actually think young Sasuke... Not so much Shippuden Sasuke. Shippuden Sasuke isn't really greedy for power. He's strong enough. He's incredibly strong, absolutely. But he's not seeking power just for the sake of power. He's not unsatisfied with his power. Yeah, he gets stronger, sure, but he's not unsatisfied with his power. Young Sasuke kind of was. Like, he had a goal in mind, but he was never satisfied with the amount of power he had. And when he thought he was satisfied with power, he thought he could kill Itachi. Turns out he wasn't. He went to Orochimaru for more power. And then he kept asking Orochimaru to train him more and more and more. So you could make an argument that younger Sasuke had a foothold in avarice. He actually could have qualified for an Orange Lantern ring if Larfleeze was so inclined to give it up, which obviously be a defining trait the Orange Lanterns are. There's really can only be one Orange Lantern, except in the most extreme circumstances, like when Larfleeze had to give up a ring for Lex Luthor. During the War of Light, he had no choice but to give out a couple Lantern rings just so they would have hit the emotional spectrum would have a chance. Then he took it back. But here's the thing. Again, if the Orange Lantern ring, for some reason, Larfleeze was around, and it sensed Sasuke, or in the ring picked up on Sasuke's areas that there's been another suitable candidate for The Lantern's like, what? No, you're mine. No, mine. Who is it? And if Larfleeze and Sasuke had to, like, the ring left them and it was like debating between them, Sasuke and Larfleeze had to fight. I do think Sasuke would win the fight because he's an actual ninja and would actually be able to beat Larfleeze. We don't know really much about Larfleeze before he got the Orange Lantern ring. We know that at one point when it was removed from, like, when the I don't remember. There's one point where, like, a couple of remaining Green Lanterns had, like, the remaining rings, and they put them on respectively, and then they basically were able to save all the other ones. When the ring came back to Larfleeze, it's like, no, keep that damn thing away from me, and then it attached on. It's like, oh, my precious, my shiny. So if the ring is removed, you'll go back. It's like, I don't want anything to do with that thing. I don't want anything to do with that thing anymore. So it's possible Sasuke could be a qualifier for the Orange Lantern Ring. But the problem with that is his greed was for an ultimate goal. Like, to kill Itachi was his ultimate goal. With other characters like or Lex Luthor, for example, is a perfect example of this. He just is never satisfied with what he has and wants more. Sasuke would have been satisfied if he was able to kill Itachi. I do believe that. So, ultimately, yeah, while he could, I can't qualify him for the Orange Lantern Ring as the most qualified corpse for him. And the last one in the unlikely category, and this is a weird one, the Blue Lantern Corps. Now, you might be wondering, what are you talking about? The qualifications for a Blue Lantern are A, you must have great hope in your heart, or you must be able to instill great hope in others. Now, Sasuke does not instill hope in others. He does not. Sakura, in theory, could actually be a Blue Lantern because she always hoped she could get with Sasuke, and guess what? She did. So, actually, when she gets with Sasuke, she probably doesn't qualify anymore for a Blue Lantern because I really doubt she instilled much hope in other people. However, Sasuke just doesn't instill that much hope in others. However, you could make an argument that Sasuke always held out hope that he could kill Itachi and restore his clan. For those goals he had, he always held out hope that he could do that. However, it's not the same kind of hope that, say, like Naruto carries, because he never gives up on his dream to be Hokage. Things along those lines. That's why, a little spoiler, one of the corps that Naruto would best fit into is a Blue Lantern Corps. Sasuke's is more a hope driven by other things. So I think while there is an essence of hope in him, it's driven by other emotions. It's fueled by other emotions. So, not impossible, but here's the thing, too. I don't think like with the Green Lantern Ring, I don't think he could hold on to a Blue Lantern Ring because, he killed Itachi. He fulfilled the thing. He has no more hope left in him. That was it. He had nothing. Until Obito came in and talked about it. Yeah, no, this happened, but, this happened as well. It's like, new purpose on life. It's like, okay, well, great. Until that happened, yeah, no, he was done. He was content. So really, there's no reason for him to have a lantern ring anymore, there'd be no reason for him to have the Blue Lantern Ring anymore. So I don't see Hope being a good fit for him. Not impossible, but not a good fit. So now we get into the Lantern Corps that I think he most qualifies for. And if you're following the color spectrum, there's only 2 left, so you know who they are. But yellow it's actually a strong candidate, even as a kid. Now, a lot of people saw him more as a jerk, but Sasuke could really instill some fear when he wanted to as a younger kid. Particularly after the tuning exams, he's definitely capable of scaring people quite a bit. But it wasn't as potent as it would have been as it was in the Shippuden era. Again, like I said, he's more looked at as a bit of a jerk than anything else. Like, people just don't like him. They're less afraid of him. There's some people who are afraid of him, but there's less who are afraid of him, more that are just you're an ass. Shippuden era Sasuke, it could easily qualify as a Yellow Lantern. Easily qualify as a Yellow Lantern. He would still have feared a lot of people, particularly once we got near the war arc. Yeah, he would scare the crap out of a lot of people. So he could definitely be a Yellow Lantern. But I honestly think, and a lot of people brought this up, and in the Naruto one, and this is the one that I, even from the get, I'm like, okay, it's either this one or this one. I feel it's this one. Red Lantern. Rage consumed him from basically he was just rage. He was rage driven. That's exactly he was. I am an Avenger. He was driven by vengeance. He was driven by anger. That is, see, of all the rings here, the one that could fit every minus adult Sasuke once he finally gets over his crap, the one that could fit Sasuke from beginning of Naruto to basically the end of Shippuden up until Naruto defeats him is the Red Lantern ring, because rage drove him the entire damn time. Now it did alleviate a little bit between the Zabuza arc and the Chunin exams. It did alleviate a little bit through there, but that's just because he was interacting and was starting to grow a bit more as a as a person, and maybe they were able to circumvent some of his rage at that point. But then Orochimaru came in and put a kibosh on that. So, and then obviously the curse mark fueled his rage. He fights against Sasuke. He's angry about Naruto. Hates Itachi. He's angry, so he leaves the village. It's just he's an angry guy, fueled by rage and anger. And then Obito tells him what the village actually did to the Uchiha, and he's fueled by rage on that. So ultimately, there's really not much of a question for me. Is that whereas Shippuden era Sasuke could easily qualify for a yellow ring, younger Sasuke would have a harder time qualifying for it, but not impossible. Rage is the only one that fits the entire basically history of Sasuke until he basically chills out and becomes a family man kind of. So I have to go with Rage on Sasuke for the most likely candidate for him. But what do you think? Do you think it's Rage? I know some people actually pointed out Rage for Sasuke as being the most likely one. But do you think it's Rage? I think he could qualify for some of the other ones. Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win. Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything to do with the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So week of who would win. Week of who would win. So I got a who would win coming out today. I also got to pre-record my who would win and what if for tomorrow. And stay tuned for next week's Lantern Corpse video, where we'll be talking about the third member of Team 7, Sakura. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you.